Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? I am clearly not Lisa Jones. Lisa Jones is currently sunning herself in Paris. Which
Nice.
is all right for some, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to have one more minute just to allow all these lovely people on board. And today we're going to be speaking about account management tips and what you can be doing within Bullhorn as part of your CRM first strategy. Looking at account tips, I've got the lovely Rose, I've got the amazing Matt here as well. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey there.
Okay, so I'll let you guys carry on admitting people as we go through. Matt, if we can have the next slide, or Rose, if we can have the next slide, please. We're going to start. Okay. Hello, my name is Wayne. I'm not normally here, am I? This is a bit unusual. So I'm Wayne. I'm going to be sort of leading today. I've got Rose and Matt, as we've talked about there, your subject matter experts. I'm just going to come in and sort of give you some information. Three things that Barclay Jones does. We are recruitment trainers. This is what we do, talking about Bullhorn and talking about automation training and support, as well as looking at your CRM system in general and identifying opportunities to enhance either the configuration or ultimately the training aspect of it as well. Now, for those of you who are recruitment experts or want to get more from your recruitment processes, you can sign up for a lovely free trial. Those of you who are interested in Recruitment HIIT, please just drop HIIT into the chat facility. I will reach out for you later today or first thing on Monday, and we'll try and get your trial set up. We'll certainly talk to you about what it is you're trying to achieve. Recruitment HIIT's designed for both experienced and new recruits. It's a great way of embedding and introducing your recruiters to new processes and training them up on the basics of recruitment. It's got a plethora of different systems in there, as well as now we've got some recruitment training in there. So Temp has just gone live. We've got Temp C going live next week, which is all about the client aspects of temp and contract recruitment when dealing with clients. And this is what it looks like in behind the scenes. So we've got our lovely Recruitment HIIT system here, various different workouts, my events, etc., etc. Okay. Bullhorn ROI. This is one of the reasons why you guys are here today. You're wanting to really understand what Bullhorn should or could be doing for you. So ROI for us, a vision project is what we would normally look at. You need to be thinking about basically what are you trying to achieve? Is your system set up to achieve what it is you're trying to achieve? And potentially, if not, then we can come in and help you configure it, and certainly we can help you train it. So our Bullhorn ROI or Bullhorn First product may be something that you would be interested in supporting us with. We're also Bullhorn Automation Buddies. A lot of you have got automation. A lot of people basically have their implementation and then things slow down. So we can retrain your business, retrain your trainers, retrain your implementers of your automation system. If they're a little bit slow or they're not too sure about things or they're a little bit cautious, maybe a bit overly cautious, then one of the things that we could be doing is we could be coaching your team to get things over the line quickly and efficiently. Ultimately, if you're just too busy for automation, then we can actually build it for you as well. So again, if you're interested in Bullhorn automation or you need some support with that, do feel free to reach out to us. We've got a Bullhorn automation webinar in a couple of weeks' time. It's all about business development this time around. We've just had the account management one. We're doing a series of automations and webinars around specific topics. This next one that's coming up is about business development. Lots of hints and tips and tricks around what you can be doing with your automation system to generate leads and hand those warm leads over to your recruiters. Again, QR codes there. If you're not already signed up, please take a photograph now and get yourself signed up. So what have we got here? We're looking at Bullhorn and we're looking at your adoption. So one of the reasons why you're on here is maybe there's a bit of a challenge with your Bullhorn adoption, or people not engaging with it, or you're not getting as much ROI from it as you would like. It could be your candidate or your client experience, not quite where it needs to be. Or you might have a skill or a will problem, as we sometimes call it. Skills can be trained, wills, they need to be led, they need to be managed. So again, lots of different ways in which you can do that. We've already got our Bullhorn webinar for Bullhorn First webinar coming up next month. Again, if you're not already signed on for it, use the QR code to get yourself booked onto that. Okay, the next poll, this is quite an important one for me, specifically on my team. Training is about embedding processes across your business. It's about having a culture of training potentially. So I'm always intrigued as to how training is delivered across a business. As a training company, we see a lot of good and bad practices. I'd like to know where you think you fit in terms of your business. Do you have no training, or is it a bit random? Do you have your induction and off you go? Or is there a continuous training experience across your teams? Let me know what that is. It would always be interesting to know. Successful businesses that really embed and use technology have that continuous process in place, that continuous learning. I've been talking to my team a lot about continuous improvement recently. It was a big buzzword back in the 90s and then the early noughties. But continuous improvement requires continuous training, needs that continuous assessment and the ability for users to be able to assess themselves as to where they're at. So we've also got 1 minute tips. We've started doing 1 minute tips to try and give you a literally, by the time you've made yourself a cup of coffee, you've learned something about what else you could be doing. If you haven't signed up for these, I think you find them on the website, on our blog area. Go and look for 1 minute tips. I think Lisa's sending those out to these people that are automatically signed up here as well. Make sure you watch them. It would be good to have some feedback on those as well at some point in the future. If you've used it and found it really beneficial, please let us know. Okay, continuous improvement. This is really important, that training element. If you're a new recruit, you need to embed and get those people trained up very, very quickly across all of the recruitment lifecycle potentially. Your systems and your processes will need to be overlaid, especially on experienced recruiters, even people that have worked in recruitment for a very long time. So this is where continuous training and onboarding training is really, really important. So whenever you're thinking about training, where can you improve your performance, but where specifically do your recruiters need to improve their performance? So if you're a new recruiter, as I say, you need to train everything. That's where video-based training, online training really is beneficial. Get them up to speed, and then you can start interrogating them and talking them through your specific processes. Experienced recruiters, this is where you need to hone in on specific parts of the recruitment lifecycle. So perhaps you notice that you get a lot of candidates that send their CVs in, you don't really process many of them, and you get very few interviews. There may be a break in that recruitment lifecycle somewhere in your business. Hone in on that, identify whether it's a skill or a will or a configuration issue across your business, and then you can do something about it, and then you can train up your recruiters about that, how to improve. Final one before I let you loose with Matt and Rose. So where are you in terms of what do you need to improve? What part of your recruitment lifecycle would you like to see your recruiters do more or get better at? I think I can probably guess what the major one of this is going to be, Rose and Matt. A lot of clients that I'm speaking to currently are all saying new recruits that are coming on board have had a wonderful time since COVID, and now we're almost back to what it was like pre-COVID, whereby you have to do a lot of business development. Now, BD and account management in my world are the same thing, but no doubt we're going to come on to that in a second.
Excellent. Okay,
very quickly, some very, very, very basic stats, just to set the tone about account management. There's this common perception that in order to double your profits or double your turnover, you need to double your headcount and make double the amount of sales. But actually, just focusing in on a small percentage of your current clients and converting them into repeat business can have a significant impact on your business profits and also your turnover. When I was a recruiter back in the mid-noughties, I worked at a business and we were looking at doubling our profit. I think the directors were wanting to do something with that profit, but the idea there was that we assumed that we'd have to double our headcount. When we actually dove into that information, we realized what we needed to do was actually increase our current existing client sales by 30% to double our profit margins. So just a small improvement in terms of your retention and your account management processes can have a significant impact on your recruiters. Now, what does that mean? Just go on to the next slide, guys. If you're really focused in on what you're doing with an account management perspective, then that will produce more opportunities. It should make placements a lot easier. You've already got the relationship with the client. They should trust you a little bit more. That conversation you have with them about these are the candidates you should be seeing, you can be a bit more consultative with those clients. Well, hopefully that generates more fees, and ultimately you want happier candidates and clients, and ultimately as well those consultants should be a lot happier, especially if their commission structures are going up or improving as well. So account management can be really, really beneficial. Now, there's this saying is always be selling, always be closing, ABC. I always talk about always be networking as well. So you want to be just constantly finding information out, asking open-ended questions to your clients, to your candidates, but specifically to those people that you've made placements with. You want to be reminding them about how great you are been at connecting people and also finding people that you've made placements or finding great candidates, and therefore you want to be sort of generating those additional sales. So always be selling is one thing that you want to be sort of embedding across your business. Now you might also have automation in your business that may be helping you sort of with that always be selling gene as well.
So we're going to talk about 5 features today. Well, 5 Bullhorn features and 1 bonus automation feature. But what we'd love to know is which of these features are you already using? And what will be really interesting at the end is to see if you're using them in the way that we'd recommend, because there's a couple of different ways you can use these. So let us know, in the poll, which of these features you're using and how you're doing so. So what we'll do now is we'll close down that poll, and then we'll actually work through them and just talk about how we would use them, or how we would use them in relation to account management specifically.
Good luck.
So
enjoy. I'll speak to you in a bit.
So our first tip is advanced note searching. So with the advanced note searching, this is a way to really quickly be able to build a list of people that you need to call. Because at the end of the day, we're all recruiters. What's the number one thing we want to do? Pick up the phone, speak to people. But often it's who do we want to speak to? How are we going to find those people? How do we know we're speaking to the right people? So you can actually use your advanced note searching to really help you dive into actually which of your contacts, which of your accounts have you spoken to, and also when, and what kind of things you've spoken to them about. So you can see here in the video, I'm looking for any potential contact that I have had a placement with, but that I've not necessarily done a BD call within the last, say, 30 days, or so, last 180 days. Because if you have previously made a placement, you want to keep that relationship warm. You want to be speaking to them regularly and seeing if you can make more placements and grow from there. And advanced note searching, just a great way of doing it. Say if you're having to keep an Excel spreadsheet or keep it written down, or even just remember it. Let Bullhorn do the hard work for you.
Absolutely. And the second tip that we've got today, which some of you said you were using already, so that's great, is general comments. Anyone who's done any Bullhorn training sessions with me know that I bang on about this quite a lot. It's one of those really, really simple fields within Bullhorn, but can add quite a lot of value, or, you know, it can add value for definite. So what kind of things should you be putting on general comments? We can have this on candidates and contacts, but obviously for sales contacts and companies today, anything that anybody just needs to see really, really quickly. So general comments is on the front of the screen. Anything that you need to remember, whether it's because you're building relationships with people and you want to note down that a particular contact spots a particular football team, or I don't know, whatever their hobbies are. And then obviously, more importantly, we've got the things of adding general comments about what might be going on in their business at the moment. So yes, we can add this kind of stuff to notes as well. But yeah, this is really something that you just want there. It's the pertinent, it's the most important thing at the moment that's potentially troubling or is within this contact's life. And then every time you pick up the phone, you can look at that, start your conversations with it, and also update it as well. You know, these things are great, but keep it updated to have that valuable information going into those calls.
Right. And now organizational charts. So organizational charts, they're a great way to be able to find the decision makers and the people that really are going to be able to give you a yes and no and get to them quickly. And then beyond that, they can be really great for giving you opportunities to cross-sell across different departments or different teams. Personally, it is one of my favorite features. So if you just follow the video on screen, so you can see here the organizational chart, it's actually giving you a breakdown of that company structure. So you've got the MD, you've got the senior managers, and then you've got who they report into. So in this circumstance, if you were, say, working with one of the senior managers, helping them recruit a team, why wouldn't you then want to work with the others as well to help them recruit a team? So that's how you can really use those organizational charts to map out the internal structures of your companies, get straight to the people that matter, and also spot those opportunities. Because if one of their managers has been happy with you and hired with you, why wouldn't a second one or a third one or even a fourth one, really?
Excellent. And as Matt said, he's got his favourite tips. I've always got my favourite tips as well. And again, desired categories and skills for me is such a huge bonus or benefit in Bullhorn. But again, I see a lot of clients, like Wayne said, when we do visions or Bullhorn first projects with them, so many clients don't utilise this feature of Bullhorn to the best. And it really is fantastic for account management and business development as well, if you want to go into that. So on your contacts, what you do is you code your contacts with who they desire. So this is a bit of misconception sometimes with Bullhorn, that you code the contact record, the orange contact record, with what they do or who they are, but it's actually who they desire from a candidate perspective. And that's really good when you're doing searches for account management or business development, because you can quickly bring up a list in Bullhorn based around maybe those candidates that you're working with at the moment. You know, show me all my contacts, or show me all the contacts that would desire this particular candidate. And it brings you up a really nice list. So that's one of my top tips, definitely for Bullhorn.
And our final Bullhorn tip today is your placement list. So I would absolutely look at your placement list and use it as an opportunity to turn one placement into two. Because with your placement list, what you can do is actually keep track of your start dates and possibly even your end dates as well. So for instance, if you were to have a new starter, let's say next week, you might want to have a look a month later to see actually, you know, when they've started a month later, if they've started successfully, your contact is happy with them. Is there an opportunity then to get another placement doing a similar role or even a slightly different one? Or on the flip side of it, let's say if you've got existing accounts, but they hire using an agency that isn't you, if you know roughly when that candidate's starting, why not ring up after a week or after a month and just say, oh, that candidate that you hired, how are they getting on? And you never know, it might be that actually it's not been a very successful start, or they've not been the right fit, in which case you can swoop right in there with your own candidate and solve that pain and that problem before it even becomes one. So again, it's just about building that trust and building that relationship, and, you know, becoming a more than just a recruiter, becoming that recruitment partner and that trusted source with your existing accounts. Because ideally, you want people coming back to you and staying with you and not going anywhere else. Plus, I think I remember the stat rightly, it's 60 to 70% more likely to get a sale from an existing account compared to just 5 to 20% for a new account. So work smart, not hard. Yeah.
Fabulous. And then our last tip, our bonus automation tip, is the re-engage passive contacts. So very much in line with account management, what we're talking about today. So if we bring up the automation, again, if you haven't got automation in your business yet and you're thinking about it, it's giving you a bit of a preview in the background. For those that have got automation, you'll probably recognize these journey flows that you can see there. But what we've got here is a really great automation which will find sales contacts that you have previously placed with, if this is the criteria that you set, that you've previously placed with, but within, let's say, 6 months, 12 months, that you haven't had any other notes or activity with that particular contact. So you can really choose what you want to do with automation. That's the great thing about it. You mold it and you change it to what you want to do. In this particular example, it might be sending an email to the contact. A lot of my clients do it so it sends a notification internally to the recruiter. So it'd say, hey, Matt, you know, you've got Rose, you placed with her, but, you know, in the last 6 months, you've not spoken to her, what's going on? And then that's going to enable Matt to have a look at my record and hopefully pick up the phone and continue that warm relationship and not lose that contact.
So they are our tips for today for how to really help you with that account management and grow your existing accounts. We'd love to know which one of them was your favorite, because a lot of the tips that we do give, you know, they can be used in a variety of ways, and how we might use it for account management might be very different from how we use it for, say, I don't know, nurturing or business development or something like that.
Thank you very much, everybody. If you've got questions, please feel free to reach out to Lisa. who will get back to you as soon as she's back from her lovely holiday in Paris. Try these tips. Certainly the desired categories and skills is the one that rings true in my mind. The number of clients that I sit down with and they code up their candidates, they code up their jobs, but they do not code up their sales contacts. So it makes life really, really difficult to try and identify, I've got a great candidate, who should I be reaching out to? We've got a client, not worked with them a while ago, but they had two gentlemen who worked here in Leeds. They turned over in excess of £1.2 million, and their process was really simple. They'd taken years to code up their candidates, their sales contacts, and their jobs. But every time they got a candidate, they would immediately go to the database and say, show me who recruits these types of people. Yeah, they would then find all those people, send a mail shot out the door. Yeah, they would pick up loads of jobs, they would place that candidate, and then they'd work those jobs. They turned over in excess of £1.2 million for two people in perm recruitment. That was all down to simply the process of coding up the sales contacts. The other big important thing as well, I think that owners and leaders will want to be aware of, that is really key information. It doesn't leave the recruiter or doesn't leave the business when the recruiter leaves the business. So capture that in your Bullhorn database to continue those relationships and continue those sales and business development opportunities. Don't forget, if you want to sign up for Recruitment HIIT, then please put chat into chat HIIT and we will reach out to you. If you've got automation and you'd like some turbo, again, please just put some please put automation into chat and we will definitely reach out to you with regards to some turbo. Don't forget, we've got loads of additional hints and tips on our website. And we've got future webinars that are coming up as well. So these are the areas that we have done or are about to do in the future. And there's the webinars as well. Again, the reminder of the webinars that are coming up later this month or into next month. So we wish you all a wonderful weekend. We hope you have a lovely time. Wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.